Flutter Mobile App plus Flask REST API. Login authentication with JWT. Full practical demo. Recall, we have implemented a simple RESTful API using Flask for user registration, login. Now, we are building a simple Flutter mobile app that connects to our Flask REST API. Flutter Mobile App plus Flask REST API. In today's video, we are building a simple Flutter mobile app that connects to our Flask REST API for user authentication. We'll cover login, token-based access, and protected dashboard access, all using Flutter and Flask. We built two simple screens. Login screen takes username and password and calls /login API. Dashboard screen calls /dashboard API with JWT token after successful login. Flutter is an open-source UI software development toolkit created by Google for building cross-platform applications from a single codebase. What Flutter does. Builds native compiled apps for mobile, iOS and Android. Desktop, Windows, macOS, Linux. Web, browser-based apps. Uses Dart, a modern, fast programming language also by Google. Key features are summarized in the table below. Features: 1. Single codebase. 2. Widget-based UI. 3. Hot reload. 4. High performance. 5. Rich ecosystem. Why choose Flutter? Rocket fast development. Hot reload saves hours. Artist palette, beautiful UIs, customizable widgets. Package. One codebase. Maintain iOS/Android/web simultaneously. Lightbulb backed by Google. Strong community and updates. What is an AVD? AVD, Android Virtual Device, is an emulator that lets you test Android apps on your computer without needing a physical device. A software replica of a physical Android device, phone, tablet, etc. Runs on your PC/Mac to simulate different Android versions, screen sizes, and hardware configurations. part of Android Studio, the official integrated development environment for Android development. Key uses: AVD. Test apps before deploying to real devices. Debug UI, performance, and compatibility. Simulate different Android versions, example, Android 12, 13, and hardware, RAM, sensors. How to create an AVD. 1. Open Android Studio, go to AVD Manager. 2. Click Create Virtual Device. 3. Select a device model, example, Pixel 6. 4. Choose a system image, Android version, example, Android 35. 5. Configure RAM, storage, and other settings. 6. Click Finish. Enable virtualization in BIOS. White heavy check mark, most important for emulators. Restart your PC, enter BIOS, usually F2, delete, or F10 at boot. Find Intel Virtualization Technology, VDX, and enable it. Save and exit BIOS. Implementing Flutter Mobile App plus Flask REST API login authentication with JWT. We are building a simple Flutter mobile app that connects to developed Flask REST API for user authentication. We'll cover login, token-based access, and protected dashboard access, all using Flutter and Flask. We built two simple screens. Login screen takes username and password and calls /login API. Dashboard screen calls /dashboard API with JWT token after successful login. Recall Flask REST API plus MySQL User Authentication API. In last demo, we have implemented a simple RESTful API using Flask for user registration, login, and role-based access control. The system defines 4 endpoints: register, login, dashboard, and admin_panel, demonstrating secure access with JWT authentication and role verification. Here is the Flask base Python for the RESTful API developed 4 endpoints: register, login, dashboard, and admin_panel, demonstrating secure access with JWT authentication and role verification in Visual Code. Please watch my video titled Flask REST API plus MySQL User Authentication API. This already running in virtual environment in Visual Code. Recall how we have tested RESTful API endpoints on Postman. Here for quick reference, I test the login endpoint first with incorrect password and then with correct password. Recall admin user created with username, paradise, and password coaching. Returns JWT token on login success. We have also tested the RESTful API in a web client created in Flask. Remember, REST API can be consumed by both web clients, browsers, JavaScript apps, and mobile clients, Android/iOS apps. Today, we develop Flutter Mobile App plus Flask REST API, login authentication with JWT full practical demo. In today's video, we are building a simple Flutter Mobile app that connects to our Flask REST API for user authentication. We'll cover login, token-based access, and protected dashboard access, all using Flutter and Flask. We built two simple screens. O login screen takes username and password and calls /login API. O dashboard screen calls /dashboard API with JWT token after successful login. Steps for mobile app development. 1. Install Android Studio. Download and install Android Studio. Backend index pointing right, https://developer.android.com/studio. This will install Android emulator, Android SDK, AVD manager for managing virtual devices. I have already downloaded Android Studio from the shown URL. Then I have run it as administrator to install it. Since I have already installed it, so I will skip this step. Here is my Android Studio running on my PC. This is the interface of Android Studio through which developer interacts with it. The next job is to install Android emulator, Android SDK, AVD manager for managing virtual devices. Click on this three dots, options to configure Android Studio. Select Android SDK Manager. It displays Android SDK Manager window. The three tabs SDK Platforms, SDK Tools, and SDK Update Sites are used to configure Android SDK. Click on SDK Tools tab. Make sure these are installed. Android Emulator, Android SDK Platform Tools, Intel x86 Emulator Accelerator, HAXM Installer, or Windows Hypervisor Platform for newer Windows versions. These are the sites from where SDK gets updated. I have already created Pixel AVD. Just observe how you can create it. Now try creating AVD again. Go to Android Studio Tools Device Manager. Click heavy plus sign Create Device. Choose a phone, like Pixel 7. Select a system image. x86_64 ABI is fine. Finish. Choose a phone, like Pixel 7. Select a system image. x86_64 ABI is fine. Finish. After clicking Finish, we'll download the necessary files and AVD will be ready to use. Once AVD gets created, here Pixel 6 already created. Now I will run emulator to test the mobile application being developed. Here is my Pixel emulator running on my PC. Step 1 of installing Android Studio, configuring SDK, and creating AVD is done. The next step is install Flutter SDK, recommended for mobile app. We'll use Flutter, Google's framework. Works for both Android and iOS. Install Flutter. Backend index pointing right, https://docs.flutter.dev/get-started/install. After installing Flutter, run in terminal, Flutter Doctor. Fix any missing requirements. It will guide you. I have already downloaded Flutter from the discussed URL. Extract it on my PC, as can be observed. This is the Flutter folder that contains all SDK and tools required to create Flutter-based mobile application. To use Flutter for development, I have copied Flutter folder E drive. You can copy it on any available drive on your PC. The bin folder contains all the required tools and SDK tools for Flutter and Dart programming language to develop the mobile application. I copy the bin means binary that is executable for Flutter and Dart on my environment variable path so that it can be accessed from anywhere on PC. You can observe the Flutter path in path environment variable. Set Flutter SDK path in Android Studio. Open Android Studio, Settings, Languages and Frameworks, Flutter. Set the Flutter SDK path where Flutter was installed. Example, C:\Flutter or wherever you installed it. Install Flutter and Dart plugins. Open Android Studio, Settings, Plugins. Search for Flutter and Dart plugins and install them. Restart Android Studio. Check marks show that it is already installed on my PC. Now let's go and create mobile application using Flutter by clicking New Flutter Project button. Observe the Flutter path already configured in Android Studio. Click on Next button. Give any Flutter project a name, say Mobile App, Flask API. No space in project name. Flutter builds cross-platforms native compiled apps for mobile, iOS and Android, desktop, Windows, Mac OS, Linux, web, browser-based apps. For now, we restrict to Android app only and select Kotlin as the language. The different type of application that can be created is listed here. Now click Create button to create the Flutter project. Wait for Android Studio to create the project framework. Here is the project folder with required libraries and default minimum folder structure created. It has main.dart file and lib folder, which is the starting point of the application. Now let's create the required directory structure for the project under development. A screens folder to store login and dashboard Dart code for creating login and dashboard screen. Here is the directory structure of the project being developed. Right-click on lib folder and select directory from the shortcut menu to create screens and services folder. Now let's create the required .dart file to write the Dart code. Right-click on Screens folder and select New Dart option and name it as login_screens.dart. Similarly, create dashboard_screen.dart file. Similarly, create ap_service.dart file in the services folder to write Dart code to access the API services. Now open pubspec.yaml file to add the required dependencies. As usual, to limit video time, I have code ready. Let's quickly copy and paste to test the application. First, start with the dependency. HTTP is required to access the REST API and Flutter Secure Storage to maintain the session on mobile app and store JWT token. The code is pasted here to download and install these dependencies required for project. Run in terminal, Flutter Doctor. Fix any missing requirements. It will guide you. Replace the default generated code in main.dart file with the developed code. I'd like to comment register_screen that Dart code as it will be in the next video. Similarly, all the developed code will be now copied to the respective file. Copying and pasting code is respective files. Emulator uses 10.0.2.2 address to access RESTful API endpoints. The code in API service.dart file calls the endpoint of the RESTful API. Recall this file is changed because of the dependencies added to it. Click Get Dependencies option to download and install it. Observe HTTP and Flutter Secure Storage is downloaded and installed. HTTP and Flutter Storage is installed. Comment register path as it is not used now. This list displays all created AVDs and also actual phone connected to development PC with debugging option and developer is on. For now, select Pixel as the AVD created earlier. Execution starts from main.dart file. Clicking here starts the launching of mobile application. However, have patience as it takes a long time to install app on emulator and run it. Observe the Flutter app is getting installed on the emulator. Once it starts running, we'll display the login screen. Here is the mobile app ready and is running on emulator. Recall admin user with username, Paradise, and password coaching, and also normal user with username. Support and password as password were created while testing API endpoint/register and postman. Clicking on login button will call .login endpoint. If credentials are correct, we'll call /dashboard endpoint. Let's check. Login successful. Displays the dashboard with welcome message to the Paradise user. The button corner is logout that clears or delete the session and redirect to login page. Let's now log in as user with username support. Now log in as user with username SHC created in web client demo, but not approved by admin. Let's see how mobile app responds to it. Observe the message at the bottom. Account not approved by admin. We have developed an Android app using Flutter and accessing RESTful API endpoint successfully. You try on your own. In case of any issue, message me in comments. That's it for today's tutorial. Rock it! If you enjoyed this project, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more full-stack mobile plus backend tutorials. In the next video, we'll go even deeper, maybe adding registration for mobile app or admin roles. REST API can be consumed by both web clients, browsers, JavaScript apps, and mobile clients, Android/iOS apps. Why this matter? A well-designed REST API lets you share business logic across web and mobile apps, reducing development time and ensuring consistency. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed this project, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more full-stack mobile plus backend tutorials. Please like and share the video, and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you once again.